Hi guys, it's Arsene here. Oftentimes, when I have a chat with solar contractors, very commonly the problem that they bring up is the quality of the clients that they have to deal with. Now, this problem creates multiple problems down the line, as you probably aware of. First one is obviously dealing with a huge amount of irrelevant inquiries and having to delete emails, having to say people no, and so on and so forth, and having to sort of guess who is there kind of relevant for me to survey. Now, then gambling your time and money to survey somebody that you don't really know if that's potentially even the right fit for you. So during the survey, there can be some problems. So the lead is disqualified in the first place, and then even if you send the quote, you have to follow up like crazy, and still it's very long. And boring process that doesn't really lead to stuff, and you are constantly in the maybe zone with those leads. And notice, even if somebody says yes to the quote during the installation stage, you may have also some problems. Like, for example, the leads can no longer see you as an expert and just decide to sabotage the installation and say what to do and what not to do for you as the installer in the first place. So this can lead to a total headache. And in today's video, what I want to do is I want to isolate the question of how do you actually spot a good lead when you generate one, right? So essentially, imagine you just generated a lead and you take a look at the details that you have in front of you, and how do you understand if this is actually a good lead and who you should prioritize? Now, to understand this solution and the actual problem of dealing with bad leads, well, first of all, we'll take a look at the lesson derived from the problem. We will use the old inversion method that Charlie Wanger promoted. Now, the lesson is very simple. Chasing junk solar leads equals wasted time and wasted money. Now, you will definitely say to me right now, come on, mate, it's just absolutely fucking obvious. What the hell are you talking about? Every single business understands these fundamentals if they have just a few cells in their brain. It's not only applicable to solar, but it's applicable to every single business. Absolutely, yes. But when you are deep into third quarter of the year, you are dealing with hundreds of tasks during your week. You have to manage the team, you have to manage the invoices, quotes, take a look after the team on the specific site, then control the quality of the project, so on and so forth. You become blind to the fundamentals, and this is one of the fundamentals. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to take a look at the core signals that the good lead has using this specific lesson. Now, skeptical viewers that currently viewing this will probably have a very bold question on the back of their mind, asking, "Okay, Arsene, you just stated this, but you are mentioning junk solar leads. Can you actually define this?" I actually can. I will define this for you right now. First of all, let's define a junk solar lead. Junk solar lead, quickly, is somebody who fills out the form but isn't even remotely qualified. Like, for example, it's a renter, no authority to make decisions. You are not dealing with the actual property owner. Next one is leads outside of your area, right? If somebody is outside of your service area, there is no point of actually dealing with. Let's say you're in Manchester, or let's say you are a smaller town in the Leeds area, and somebody is opting in from London, right? And you don't really service London. Or for example, if let's say for my US viewers, let's say you are in New York and somebody's opting from Ohio, and you don't have a branch in Ohio. So like, what the hell, right? So this is extremely important. Take a look at the service area. Make sure everything is fine with that. If you don't ask for the address right away, just give them a call and ask them there. Now, next one is people are just curious about solar without intent to act. This is a big one. No budget, no urgency, no real interest. If people don't really indicate a clear interest in what's actually going on, for example, there is no clear problem or there is no clear goal that they want to achieve, there is very, very, very low likelihood. So, to frame this, even if they don't mention exactly what they want, it's already a red flag, right? So, for example, if they just say, "I'm kind of interested in the renewables," kind of was thinking about this is already a red flag. If somebody says to you that, "Okay, I want solar panels and battery storage installed on my roof," this is already a green flag, right? So if there is a specificity in terms of what's going on, you can, when somebody is specific, you can clearly understand what are the intentions. You can clearly derive the problem, and you can clearly derive the goal out of that. Next up, wrong fit roofs or properties. Now, this one you normally understand if somebody has a wrong fit roof or property after having the initial call with them, right? You get the clear details of the address, or if you're actually getting the address right away from the form, you can literally just go to Google Earth or whatever you're using to take a look at the properties, as I'm sure you're using this one, to take a look at the property and see if this is actually relevant. If not, it's obviously a red flag and there is no even point to survey somebody. Next up, fake info and spam forms are people just testing leads. There's not really much to explain here. If somebody is just spammy or just uses fake info, it's obviously not a qualified lead. Now, the reality is this one. The best clients leave clear signs that they are ready today. And obviously, they then, by ready today, I don't mean ready for the installation today. I mean, at least ready for the survey today, at least ready to understand the cost question specifically for them. If somebody has clear intentions about being ready to proceed with you as the company, this is a clear potential for somebody to be the best client for you. Now, here is the myth of this video. How do we define a banger lead to have a chat with initially? Number 0 is property ownership. Renters rarely qualify. Now, if there are some like fundamental messaging problems, offer problems, positioning problems with your lead generation system, this can be the thing. This is why it's fundamental to have this sorted clearly, and you sort this by properly communicating on your lead generation channel, on your landing page, or anything to do with this. You have to clearly specify who you are actually helping, right? This is point 0. Now, signal number 1, clear pain points. They mention high bills, grid dependence currently, or lack of storage. This one is extremely obvious, right? This is extremely easy to understand. And when somebody brings this up at for example, in the project details section, or for example, they bring this up at the survey stage, it's extremely important to keep track of this, because this is a very good signal that somebody is actually invested in doing things. Signal number 1 just indicates that somebody is invested in solar or the specific service that you provide in the first place, because they clearly understand the problem that this solution solves. Obviously, you can then, during the survey stage, you can come up with more problems, taking a look at the survey, at the property. But clear pain points during the opt-in stage, it's extremely good signal that they are at least seriously interested in the actual service. Signal number 2 is defined timeline. Somebody who actually wants to have the next step with you, to have a survey, to understand the cost problem, to get the quote, to have the install done. This is a very good indication of a highly qualified lead during the opt-in stage. Somebody asking, when can we have the survey? When can you send me the quote? At the opt-in stage. With our clients, we have this all the time. A lot of leads actually ask this. And this is a very extremely good signal that everything is going good. Signal number 3, budget awareness. They know ballpark costs or bring up financing options. So normally this signal number 3, this is something that you will face the most during the service stage, because normally when you have one-to-one conversation, you will clearly understand what people are about. But sometimes actually in the lead forms, you can sometimes even get people who can mention that they've actually researching solar for a while. They understand the costs question. They liked what they saw on your platform, and they just really wanted to get a specific quote from you. This is an amazing message from somebody. Signal number 4 is site specifics. This one is probably one of the most important ones. When somebody is filling out the form, filling out the survey on your website, and they in this project details form section, or for example in the section anything you want to add up as well to the inquiry, when they specify the roof size, battery interest, specific usage that they have, so how many money they spent on their energy bills, just generally more context about the project, this is an extremely good indication that this is a good lead. My last video that I posted, I actually gave you an example of a good lead that we generated for a client recently. So if you want to take a look at that one, I just highly suggest you taking a look on my previous video. Now, if you focus on these signals, you will filter out 80% of noise fast, right? Sometimes even more. It's just best to have a proper messaging on your lead generation channel And this way you will just be able to generate leads who are just interested in you in the first place. Now, if you want a clear checklist on how to understand if this specific lead is actually somebody who was pursuing, that you can just basically go through in your mind without even having to write something. I actually built a Solar Readiness Checklist that actually has clear checkboxes for each signal that is outlined right here, that you basically can just take a look, just quickly read through them in your mind, just check the boxes, and if everything's fine, you can have a base level of confidence that this is definitely somebody who I have to have a chat with and potentially close them as the client. If you want something like this, drop me a comment with the word checklist, and I will send this to you personally right into your inbox. Okay? Cheers.